to come on. Little drummer boy over here, my son, doing a lot of drumming. Make a lot of drumming noises. I'm just setting this up. Hi. Sometimes when I do these feeds, I have to lower the camera lower and lower because I start getting, I start slumping in my seat even more. Well, hey, Chase, how come this says low power and I'm plugged in?
I don't know. It's just that low battery in general.
Hold on. Oops, sorry, dog. Oh, no, it's unplugged. That's why. Hi. Oh, my God. The dogs. Hear the dogs? The little guy? Oh, I got a ponytail back here. I don't know what's going on. Maria Day, hi. Maria, hope you're doing fine. Bloomington Thunderwood, howdy. Howdy to you. Hope you're doing well. Hope wherever you live, things are opening up for you. Because, man, we deserve it, don't we? Yeah, we've been looking at, expanding on our channels. We've been looking at bringing more people in to help us out. Doing good, Maria. That's good. We've been looking at just change. After a while, this whole pandemic has really changed people's lives. And I was talking to Felix Cavallari of the Rascals and the Young Rascals yesterday. Chase already clipped up all the interviews, ready to roll. We'll probably start that series tomorrow. And he's a philosophical guy. He read a lot of spiritual books back in the 60s. And, they had a couple of hits, big ones in the Summer of Love, And he's just such a cool man. Just a deep, cool guy who is looking at the center of the pie from, I think, a pretty cool angle. I mean, we're all allowed to look at it from whatever angle we have, right? Let me just read some of these. Chris Snodgrass. Hey, John. Greetings from Charleston, West Virginia. Hello. I've never been there. Been to a lot of places in the U.S. Maria Day. Got my second shot last Saturday. Maria, that makes me happy. Good for you. We're probably a month and a half away from our second shot. Chase is getting his first shot because he's 17. He had to wait on Saturday. Toots, hello, Sir John and Rock family. Bloomington Thunderwood, 40 plus gigs on the books. Wow. Lonnie Griffin, hey, John. Hi, Lonnie, how you doing? Jennifer Carper, hi. Orange Sunshine 2, it's Robert Downey Jr. I don't get that anymore. That was never my idea. I used to get that a little bit. I got some freaking weird lighting going on. Weird lighting. There's a whole bunch of weird lighting going on. I love the Little Rascals. Young Rascals, okay. Toots, gave myself a backyard haircut tonight. You know what? My wife gives me those. This is a professional one, but Shannon also gives me. Hello from Ireland, John. Marty Martin, hey, thank you. Thanks for joining us tonight. Hope everyone's doing well, because there's so much light at the end of the tunnel right now for a lot of us. You love the mountains in West Virginia. Chris Snodgrass, right on. Mickey P. Very late here in the UK. Will you please make a trip across the pond, maybe 2022? We get invitations. Believe it or not, Shannon gets more invitations than I do. She's more of a looker than me, maybe. I think you guys might think I'm okay because of my content, not because of what I look like. Shannon, on the other hand, she's not done a lot of content yet, and she's going to on Nail Sheet. In the next few months, you'll start seeing Shannon a lot because I've been training her to do it. Is there?
No, it's not anywhere.
Oh, okay. Chase, what video are you working on right now?
Top horn bands and rock in the 70s.
Top horn bands and rock in the 70s. That's for Rocky Street Book, by the way, our sister site. Jason Jasonica, PR. I just got my first shot today in the afternoon. Where are you from? I'm kind of curious. I've noticed that It's okay, Danica. Top of the evening, John. This is from David Gregorski, Wisconsin. Haircut could be near grooving with a. Oh, I'm not sure what you're saying there. I've been singing a lot of songs from the Young Rascals and the Rascals, and there was friction in that band, and Felix talks about it quite openly. We have a mutual friend who's into a lot of interesting things. You might not know this person, but we're both worried about him a little bit. And we just found out during the interview that we both know this person personally with Felix. Oh, I'm from Puerto Rico. What's it like there? Are you guys a little behind? Because some of the provinces in Canada here, some are more advanced and more forward thinking or cautious or whatever than others. Watch some Gord Downey interviews tonight. Legend. So you're in Chatham, right? Are you living in Chatham? Is it Toots? Maria Day. I know most people won't remember the group Nelson. I remember the group Nelson. Yes, we lost one of the members of the group last week. I saw that. Joey Cathcart. It was a day of interviews, so I didn't do anything on it. Macaroni, why won't they? There's too much bad blood in the Rascals. There's too many things have happened. I've got the Montreal-Toronto game playing there, and I might have to turn it off because I find it very distracting. Too much bad blood. And I asked him point blank if it would happen, and he just said, musically, the band was so well put together. I mean, it just synced really, really well. Personally, not so much. And that's usually the problem anyway, right? Oh, you live in Moncton. Okay. Thinking of moving back, by the way. Home. I think there are over 1 million people fully vaccinated from nearly 3 million. Oh, is that right? Oh, cool. I never interviewed the Nelson boys. I never knew that much about them. I remember that they had that hit in the 80s. Chris, I'm glad you're doing great. Mickey P, you still never answered my question that I stopped. You, what? Make a trip to the UK. Well, I don't know. We want to go to the UK. We don't know when. My wife has an autoimmune disease, so I mean, even though Shannon gets ID'd at the liquor store, she just did. She looks very young for her age. She's 50. She's going to be 51 this year. That's just through. She's very disciplined. I am not, and but she has an autoimmune disease. She looks sick, but if she got COVID, she could possibly die. Lance Costello, hello all. Hi Lance, nice to have you on here, man. Macaroni, he goes, well, yeah. Steve says, enjoyed the Goudreau and Mastia interviews. Curious if you've heard Tom no, I haven't. And people say, oh, you're going to get sued. Listen, I asked him questions. He answered it. I said in the beginning of each interview that Tom Scholes is welcome to come on and tell his side of the story. There's no way he hasn't heard because he's, as far as I know from Tom Scholes, that when there's something up there on Boston, he'll check it out or get someone to check it out for him. I mean, I would say Jim Mastia's story that his what did he call it, Chase? His percussive... Foundation, thank you. That wouldn't hold up in court. I'm not saying I agree or disagree with him. It's not, and I don't want to pick sides, but it's widely known that Tom Scholes, did the bulk of the Boston albums. So Shannon, two lightning bolts. If I don't keep in shape, soon they'll say to Shannon, oh, you brought your dad with you. That's so cute. Oh. Jasonica, I hope I'm saying that, PR, they are giving incentives everywhere. Not in Canada that I've heard of. Like, the lotteries. Let's see. Is Tom Scholes' Axis a bit of a hermit? people I know in Boston, especially people who live near him, I've rarely seen him. It probably bug him. You know, the thing is, Randy Meisner was talking about Don Henley, and I know that Don's wife sometimes comes on here because I've talked to her several times on Facebook. She's friends of mine on Facebook, Don Henley's wife. Randy Meisner told me in the late 90s, I think that interview was, I can't keep track of too many interviews. He said Don was a stickler, and I'm sure there's always one or two, and Glenn Frey was another one in that band, that pushed the guys and or alienated the guys just through knowing they had something and they had to get their ideas out there. Don Henley's always been my favorite Eagle. I don't think I'll ever get a chance to interview him, and I would never put his wife in that situation. She's a nice lady. They just celebrated their anniversary. I wished her, she said thank you. But sometimes those guys are the guys who get blamed for, seeming like jerks or something. I think that Trev Lukather, who I just interviewed, Steve Lukather's son, he seemed like the nicest guy in the world. And I can't imagine him being a difficult guy to work with, but he could be. But I think it's probably more a case of he was pushing them to do something because he's got more experience. And he's got his dad behind him, and he's learned a lot from his dad. And sometimes those guys will go, oh, that guy's just a jerk. I don't think that's always the case. Even though the Eagles, there's a lot of sides to that story. I want to be fair to all the members. And none of us were there. I'm sorry, I missed some of these. The Great Mall of America is giving away $100 gift cards if you get your shots. Maria Day, is that right? That was built by the Gurmesian brothers who built West Edmonton Mall, and I was there for all three stages of the opening in West Edmonton Mall when I lived there. All three, I was an announcer. I'd gotten into radio, by the time all three stages. Bribery, Marty Martin, what for the shots? Are you an anti-vaxxer? Floyd the Barber, COVID shots or gunshots? Just kidding. Okay. Axis 2084. How's Danica doing? She's doing really well. She's just right over there. That's the one that's making the noise in the background. Music videos will never be the same without Tawny Katane. Yeah. She was she had turned into a I wouldn't say a loose cannon, but Tawny I'd seen an interview 2 weeks. It's on. Just check it out. An interview 2 weeks before she died, and there's some imbalance going on there. I don't know if she was on something or depressed or had too much coffee, or I don't know, because it went from this to that. And it's sad to see someone like that. Whitesnake was never an A or B or they were never one of my top bands, but I love those songs. Never bought any of their albums. Floyd the Barber, I have not reached out. I'm trying to think if I ever had a Debbie Harry chance of an interview. I don't think so. I think there's an interview downstairs with one of the band members, Blondie's partner, the guy who was sick for a while. I don't know his name. I think there's an interview with him downstairs. I don't think with her, though. These are not my interviews. That's a bunch of interviews I inherited from... I didn't inherit. He's not dead. Steve Burgess. Naughty Tawny. A lot of people were incredibly disrespectful. It's the too soon thing when she died. That video did incredibly well. It got 100 and something thousand views. But a lot of people were we erased those comments. Someone was saying the other day, commented, how come you erased, I don't know Brad Delp's ex-wife or ex-wife's name. And he had said to me on the Rocky Stream Music Messenger, he said, why did you erase her comment? And we have 3 people in the house that go through comments, mostly me, like 90% me. And I don't remember but there's a possibility that if someone said something that, I mean, I can't get sued for a comment that someone says. It's a comment section, comment away. But if someone's really disparaging towards someone and doesn't really have anything to back it up, I would have erased it, but I don't remember erasing it. So, and I have no qualms about erasing a comment. It's my channel. You know, if someone says something, I'm going, yeah, don't say that. Or they get too political. You know, or them liberals, them conservatives, the Republicans. Well, you know, don't politicize it, or I won't. Don't, you know. Sad what happened to Tawny. Yeah, it happens. I think that when people become celebrities, some people, they stop maturing emotionally. They just do. You know, I look at the situation with, what's her name, that Disney princess, Demi Lovato. You know, some of the stuff that she comes up with, I'm going, is she just tired of not being on the news? Does she need to attack a yogurt store owner? What was that? I remember seeing that. Oh, thank you, Snowman. I appreciate it. Is Van Halen done as a band? Yes, I think so. I've been listening to a little bit more of Van Halen lately. Thank you for that, Super Chat. I appreciate that. No, it was not. It's Demi Lovato. And you know, I can't watch Miley Cyrus. After twerking, I said, I'm done. I'm done forever. I don't care what. Oh, she's a great singer. Yeah, there's like 25,000, 50, 100,000 singers who can sing circles around her, but we're never Disney princesses. So sure, she does have talent. I recognize that, but I don't care about her. Demi Lovato, another one. I'm going, that's not, it's not my music, but at least Miley now acts like an adult more so. And I can't say that for like that whole Demi Lovato thing. I'm going, come on, just lay low. Just be a person. Just hang in there. Stop making statements and stop getting, she's confused about her own importance. She's got confusion. Phil Spector, it's hard to Toots, it's hard to, or I'll call you Toots. It's hard to differentiate between the man who Phil Spector was, and I mean he had threatened a lot of people with a gun through the years, and most of those people will never end up shooting someone. You know, didn't he shoot her in the mouth? I mean, Jesus. Danica, can you let Romy out? Danica? Yeah, I Queen, how you doing? I don't know what's there's something not quite right there. There's something really, really wrong there. It's a deep-rooted, I mean, I could be wrong, but it's just coming off like with Demi Lovato, this deep-rooted need to be loved so much. You know, and then when you become a celebrity, some people lose their perspective, right? They don't know who they are without the audience. Toronto just scored. It's 3-2 for Montreal, but Toronto just scored. Ooh. Marty Martin, thoughts on... I don't have any thoughts on... I don't follow Megadeth, and they're not... Everyone... I will say one good thing about really hard rock and or metal. The fans are really loyal. The videos do incredibly well on our channel, but that's not my lane. It's hard for me to follow a type of music. I mean, I'm here to report at the same. You know, if I get so many offers from metal people for interviews, most of the bands I don't know, most of which I don't know. I don't know who they are. But it's just really not my lane, and I get too many offers. Like I had Felix Cavallari this week from, like I said, the Young Rascals and the Rascals, and that's the only interview I did all week. But I have so many in the can. The Toto guys, new interviews from them. I've got John Hall of Orleans, a great interview with him. I'm talking about spirituality and religion with a lot of these people now. It's never going to be half the interview. Because that's not why I do these. I don't want to change the theme of the channel. But the population that listens to my videos, I'm 61. Not sure how old you guys are, but most of our rockers are at least 70 years old. And they're watching the clock and they're thinking about where they're going. So I'm asking everybody, for instance, okay, like I asked Felix. I said, Felix, I told him, I asked Richie Furay this question and Mark Farner this question. And they're deeply religious men. And they both gave me very different answers. And I said, Felix, where do we go when we die? Where do you think you're going? So I said, no, it's not because you're older than me. It's nothing to do with that. I said, it's a question that a lot of us are interested in. So, they scored? No, they didn't score. And they give me some really good answers. Bill Rossi, 46, thank you. Just done listening to Act On Baby. Oh, yeah. I'm not a YouTube fan at all. YouTube. I hope I didn't say YouTube there. They just never, Joshua Tree I bought. My favorite song of theirs is I Still Haven't Found What I'm Looking For. One of those ultimate searcher songs, When that came out, I was single and I was still looking for a woman. I never thought I'd end up being with Shannon. If someone would have just given me a hint about Shannon, but the world doesn't work that way, I would have been okay. I went through really tough times in the 80s. I was the happiest and the most miserable I've been because I was going through divorce. I was going through a lot of breakups. I didn't know who I was. I hadn't matured emotionally. Women mature way faster than men. I was in my mid-20s. Someone the other day was saying, hey, thanks for talking about the exes and the effect they had on you. And I'm going, the reason I would do that is because none of us have not been affected by our exes. My God. A lot of times for the worse. For me, I'm lucky. Most of my exes were just like fair weather exes. I would date them for a little while. We both look at each other, I never slept around. Never did that in my life. Oh, Nova, The Unforgettable Flyer gave me life. But yeah, why don't we talk about that? Are there albums? That's a good topic. Are there albums that got you through difficult times? Billy Joel always came up. He was never my favorite artist, but Billy Joel would come up with lyrics sometimes. I was either standing in your shadow or blocking your light from Don Henley. That's another one. I remember thinking that, going, there's different perspectives of looking at the same situation. Well, Floyd the Barber, I never say no to Richard. We just included him in top duos of all time. Teddy Bates, thank you. Appreciate the super chat. As far as I know, the music, I heard the music was almost done for Journey. Thanks for the super chats. Very kind of you. You still haven't found, Marty, what you're looking for? There was just something about Queen. There's something about U2 that just never, it wasn't. This is what I'll say, and you guys might appreciate that. I never thought it was for me. I never thought U2 was for me. And no one's wrong and no one's right with music. Thank you for the super chat DM. Richard Marks owes Senator Paul an apology for wishing him harm. This may not be PC, but I'm tired. Oh, well, you can't wish someone harm. I agree with that. Richard's very political. I've learned a lot from interviewing Republican musicians, and I'm quite a liberal, but not far left or anything. And I've learned a lot from having really decent, good conversation with, and those guys won't go there with me, and they know I don't want that. If they started getting political, I would say no, and they don't. But I've had the most beautiful conversations with some of my Republican friends, and that's never happened up until this year, and you'd think it'd be worse this year, but it isn't. Obviously, if someone said, oh, yeah, they're sacrificing babies in the basement of a pizza shop, I'd go, you've lost your perspective. There's no basement in that place, but you've lost your perspective. Do you know how ridiculous that sounds? But you're allowed to. Blaze wrote "Brother John," Indian Sunset from Madman. Oh yeah, that's a song. I mean, I'm 1/14th native, so I don't really count. But there's that song. Um, Indian Sunset is one of the most. If you haven't heard it, guys, listen to it. The injustices of the native people, and of course, Elton John and Bernie Taupin were obsessed with North American, mostly American life. Uh, but I know Madman Across the Water better than I know most albums in my collection. So I'm not surprised you came up with that one. Blaze, you rock. Barry Bowman, Elton John saved my life. He saved my life many times. Someone's working on an interview with me and Elton right now. I don't know if it's going to happen. Oh, Nova, Billy Joel's, Scenes from an Italian Restaurant, you mean, yeah. And that one, if any of you ever married your high school sweetheart, you could relate to what happened with that situation, That was a great song. Moving Out, the play, the musical? I got to know Matthew Friedman, who was one of the main Broadway guys. He traveled with them, and he went on stage with Billy Joel a few times. Through the years, I met him because he was here in town, and I interviewed him because he was playing for Moving Out. And he just, he knows more about Billy Joel music than most people. And there's not a lot of music there. I mean, he could have released, I asked Felix Cavallari about, because remember, he goes on stage with Billy Joel when he does the Madison Square Garden thing. And I said, do you understand why Billy's not recording? He says, I've never asked him. And he's close friends with Billy Joel. I said, you've never asked him why he stopped recording? He says, no, but I get it. I think that it's a question of he doesn't want to. And he didn't say he was stubborn, but he said, nah, I don't want to. I'm not going to. Are they tied at 3? I don't know how to say your name. Getty Minis. Wow. It's All About Soul, Jason Sonicki, yeah. We Didn't Start the Fire is great. I mean, I would just love it for him to record again, but he's probably not going to. I didn't know they were tied. Thank you for telling me. Axis, I Liked You Too Until Acton Baby. Yeah, I never liked that album either. Nova, I'm actually glad you haven't had a U2 phase yet. When it comes, you will have some, you have to TP chase down. No, I trust me, it's not because I know the music. It's just, I know the music. It's just, I'm looking at the TV, sorry. I haven't watched a full, listen to this. Here I am watching a hockey game. I haven't watched a full hockey game since, well, Shannon's cousin's married to Matt Cook. I know he's got a bad reputation, but Matt's a really nice guy. His wife and I are, she's very different from me, let me just say that. But anyway, she's Shannon's cousin. That's the last hockey game when Pittsburgh Penguins won that Stanley Cup, whatever year that was. That's the last full hockey game I watched. So I'm trying to get back. I get too nerved up watching hockey. No, it's not tied in 3-3. It's 3-2. Who said they were tied at 3-3? The 1997 pop. That's another. It hit me. Ted Nugent is way too extreme. Ted Nugent is leaning towards he's lost his equilibrium and clear thought. Can you like their music without agreeing with what they say? I'm not sure what context. That's what I was talking about, Maria, a while ago. But if lyrics are harmful for me, then I won't even go there. But during an interview, if I'm having a one-on-one interview with someone and they're kind and interesting and introspective and honest and all those nice words you love to describe an interview, I don't care where you politically lean. And that's not my job. My job's not to say, hey, I was going to ask Richie Furay, and I've said this before, Richie, how do you get along with Neil Young knowing that you guys are polar opposites politically? That was as close as I was going to get, but I just forgot to ask it. I just didn't, it wasn't on my list. That's why I'm always looking to this side, because my list is always right here of questions, because I'm 3 now. I'm sick of people saying, why are you looking down? Why are you checking your phone during interviews? I'm going, I'm checking my notes on a scribbler. But I know I've gotten mad at that before. Some people are just... Okay, I might have missed a few here. Access 2084, America was one heck of a band. I interviewed, and I know you guys are going to give me help for this, Dan Peake. The interview's not up yet after all these years. There's phone hum on the interview. Jerry Beckley's interview is on this channel. Jerry and I got along famously. Race fan 1973. Hi, John. Watching from Maine. I've been to Bangor, Maine, because I grew up in New Brunswick, and we're stuck together. We're always talking about moving back to New Brunswick. Always talking. Hopefully that will not be talk soon, but... Marty, I like Billy Joel's songs. Safe and sound, watching from Orlando, Florida. I was being interviewed by someone the other day. I was interviewing someone the other day, and I was saying, well, you know, if I ever move back to New Brunswick, I'll probably spend some of the winter in Florida. And the artist said, have you ever been to Florida? Have you ever met some of their people? I said, no. I know people say stuff about Florida, but there's people, like attracts like. You're going to attract people that you like. If politically they're a little kooky or different, they don't have to be kooky, then that's fine. I have friends where I say, I can't be your friend unless you don't talk about politics. You can't, I'm not interested. And they'll always try to sneak in, and I'm going, listen, I'm not going to be your friend. I'm not interested. I love every other part of you, and that's great. If I'm your friend, I don't have to love every part of you. It's fine. You know? But I'm not going to argue politically and stuff. It drains my energy. Okay, sorry, not politics. Anthony Sondheim, John, keep up the good work. And Chase, keep up the good work.
Thanks, guys.
Hey, thanks. Mickey P, I remember when I went to Canada on a holiday with my folks, and I was half to remember Criminal Mind video by Gowan. Oh, yeah. I'm going to interview Gowan. I was just talking to Greg Godovitz today, he was in the band Goddo in Canada. They were quite popular. And I was walking the dogs today, and Greg called me up, and he asked me if I'd seen the video with him and Gowan. Look up Greg Godovitz, Rock Talk, and Gowan. You'll find the interview. It's a really good interview. Snowman, exit stage left helped me through losing my best friend in high school. He died from leukemia. Oh, man. Thanks for sharing that. Billy Rossi, could you imagine if John Lennon was still alive? Would he still be political? Yeah, I think so. John Lennon seemed malcontent to me, but, you know, some people are. It's nurture nature stuff. It depends what's happened to you in your life. Felix Cavallari and I were talking about that. You know, crap happens to you in your life. You can make a decision to get out of that, or you can stay there. No one can tell you what to do. The people around you might. But that happens. And I think, to me, John Lennon just seemed like a malcontent person. I'd always wanted to spend time with Paul McCartney and Ringo Starr, George Harrison. But John would probably be the last guy of the Beatles that I would say, hey, yeah, I want to spend the afternoon with. Interviewing, that's different. John would be... I think John probably is a better interview than Paul, even though I'd love to talk to Paul. Paul's my favorite Beatle. Uncle Ted has a knack for playing psychedelic style, being completely opposite of the type. Would love to hear an interview with Liberty DeVito, Glass House's drumming. I've done Liberty DeVito's on this channel. We've talked to Liberty. Look up Friday Night Live, Liberty DeVito on our channel, and you'll get a chance to see him talk for, I think, an hour, answering fan questions. I still say hi to him now and then. Save and Sound, Allentown. Oh, I love that song. And it has such a, I don't want to sing it because of copyright. They're so crazy these days. But there's just something eternally, it's got that sing along. Dun, 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 dun. Yeah, it's just beautiful. Oh, Race Fan 73. Billy hates performing. We didn't start the fire. I didn't know that. And So It Goes is one of the most beautiful songs ever. Old school. 7176. I like to say your usernames out loud because I appreciate you spending time with me. It's really nice of you. You don't have to. You could be doing anything, but instead you're talking to all of us, and so that's one of the reasons. I say this a lot. I know. Steve Ostadike. Curious if you've ever heard Mammoth. Yes, I have. Thought it sounded like a little Nickelbacky sort of. But nice. Jasonica PR and Just the Way You Are is pretty clever. And yeah, yes. There's a place for. There's not a lot of Canadians on here right now. By the way, 90%. Yeah, not 80. 90% of the audience for rock history music is American. When I had the website Rock History Book and the radio station Rock History Book, 80, 90% all American because I cover, that's what I cover. I cover the music you love. And I appreciate the fact that I'll have Canadian friends who go, oh, Americans are like this or that. I'm going, I freaking love Americans. I have no problem with Americans. Not just because they support what I do, but I kind of get what's going on, and I can, one side I can understand more than the other side. It always gets worse before it gets better. And that, a lot of mother statements there, right? Oh, hang in there, Johnny B. Anyway. Anthony Sondheim, hello from Colorado Springs, Colorado. Hello, hello. Good American flag. Well, I'm going to spend the winters in the U.S., not this year, but starting next year. And it'll either be Arizona, California, or it'll be Florida. I mean, that's pretty much, I've never been to Florida. I've always wanted to go. Toots, I'll say. I saw Sawyer Brown Nitty Grit Band in Moncton in 92. The only concert I saw in Moncton was Seals and Crofts and Chilliwack. Thought I had good seats, third row, till the granny stood up in the first. When I went to Moncton, I think I told you before, I went to CKCW and met Brother Jake Edwards because I was with a radio announcer at the time. It's tied 3-3 now. Top 40 Hub, thank you. Oh, Top 40 Hub, you talked to me this week, right? You said, yeah, your Top 40 Hub, you said that. Yeah, sorry, I got sidetracked after you put that comment down. Floyd the Barber, it's 3-3, 5 minutes to go. Be nice to see Toronto do something. I mean, the thing about sports is it's not like, oh, they haven't won in a while, they should win. It's not like the mother handing out money or, it doesn't work that way. The best team wins, right? Or now and then there's a bouncing puck that gets in that shouldn't go, but Batwing everywhere blocked my view. Thanks, Toots. Nicole Murphy. My new obsession with Poco led me to your channel. I really enjoy your work. Thank you. Is it Nicole? Is that how you say it? Because you don't have an E at the end. Like, for instance, my father-in-law spells Dennis D-E-N-I-S. He doesn't spell. His mother spelled it that way. Sometimes people think he's Denise. Mickey P. I remember when I first went to Canada on a holiday, my folks half remember. Oh, we already said that? We already read that out loud? The Cars, Heartbeat City, New World Man. Yeah. That's a cool album. I remember thinking they're not going to get bigger than this. Not because, I just said they couldn't possibly happen. They're so huge. Maria Day, Richard Marx, and what he says on Twitter. Okay. Hold on. Snowman. Hit the like button, folks. Thank you, Snowman. You're really good about that. It really does help the performance of the video. I didn't know that. I'm really bad at getting into deeper why my videos do well and some of them don't do well. Elton John doesn't do well. We just had a video on Whitney Houston. Fans don't come to this channel for Whitney Houston, and I know that. But Bill Shanae gave me a great quote about Whitney wanting to nail "I Will Always Love You" live for the end of that movie, The Bodyguard. It was Kevin Costner's idea for her to record that Dolly Parton song. So they're all in the control room. Kevin Costner's there, and Bill Shanae is going, she's having a hard time. First, second, and third take, she wasn't nailing it at all. Kevin Costner looks at Bill Shanae and says, she'll get it. And the fourth take, she got it. And that's the kind of information you get on that Casey Kasem show. Thanks, Snowman. That's nice of you. I don't know if I've ever gone to a country concert. Toots, I don't know. I'm trying to think. Have I ever gone? I compartmentalize my concerts in the 80s, casinos in the 2000s, free concerts, concerts where I had to MC and introduce the band. And I don't put them all together in one group. I don't know why my brain refuses to do that. Because I'd be nervous backstage, when I had to introduce the band. I've told this story before, but some of our American friends might remember Trooper. Some of you might not. Raise a Little Hell. But I was introducing Trooper, and Ray McGuire was back. I've said this story before, so sorry, right before. I'm backstage with a band, and I'd only been on radio 2 years, and he could tell I was nervous. He could really tell. And I thought I was hiding it. And he said, you doing okay? Everything okay? I said, oh, yeah, really good. I was talking because I'd met him 3 years before in my hometown, backstage at a place called Sinclair Rink. We were talking about that. And he sat down. I went, oh, he knows. He was worried about me. He said, can I ask you a question? Yeah. What were you like when you had to speak in front of the class? And I'm going, oh, he's going there. No, it's going to make me worse. He says, what was it like when you went in front of the class and had to say something in front of the class? I said, well, it was disastrous every single time. And he said, well, it's interesting you chose to be a radio announcer. And he said, what happened when you screwed it up and you went back to your seat? What was on your mind when you were walking back to your seat and you actually sat down? And I said, well, it's weird. I wanted to get back up and do it again. And he looked at me, waited a second. He said, I look forward to you introducing us for a second time. He wanted me to imagine I screwed up, and he wanted me to imagine going up there, and I still was nervous, but I did a normal job. I had to read this thing our station's doing this, and I'm going, oh, the crowd hates hearing this. We're doing a promo. But there you go. It's my Ray McGuire story. I've got to talk to him again. I wonder if he remembers saying that. Nova, all we are. Where is that? Peter Fredette. Peter's still in Toronto. Doesn't he live in Toronto? Background singer for Kim Mitchell and bass player. Anthony Sondheim, Canada Rocks. Thank you. Nova, Dan Peake legend. Yes. When I was interviewing Bill Shanae, the record engineer producer, I was thinking of asking him, hey, Bill, can I hire you to fix this interview and take the hum out of it? It's my interview with Ravi Shankar, where he blessed me at the end. Dan Peake, Dave Brubeck, and there's another one. Andrew Gold. 3 of them are dead. Or all of them are dead. Yeah, all of them are dead. Oh my God, wait a minute. Dave Brubeck's, yeah, he's dead. Andrew Gold's dead. Ravi Shankar's dead. Andrew Gold, Dan Peake, yeah, all 4 of them are dead. And they've got a big hum on the, wow. Floyd the Barber, I never thought that America was a shell without Dan Peake. You have to kind of look at Dan Peake's solo stuff too. It's not, his solo stuff was, I mean, listen, America released some albums after Dan left. But what was the last album with Dan? Was it Hideaway, or what was the other? There was 2 there. They didn't do very well. And I think the band was suffering, creatively. And don't get me wrong, I loved Hideaway. My friends loved Hideaway. We all loved that album. But what's the other one? There was Hideaway and another one. All the H titles, remember? Nova, Richard Marx is a tender, loving, respectful gentleman. Unless you are a GOPer, he'll crush you like a bug. Well, he's pretty firm on his resolve. Jasonica PR, I have known that he doesn't consider We Didn't Start the Fire his best song. Oh, yeah. Nova, the artist is not the music. Nova, the chef is not the food. Oh, you're coming up with some good stuff. Toots, Dick Stacy's truck stop in Maine. Yeehaw. Oh, there you go. I went to Bangor as a kid on a field trip. That was it. Wendy EJ, exactly. Maria Day, keep up the good work. Chase, hey, Chase. Maria Day says, keep up the good work.
Thank you very much.
He says, thank you. Jasonica PR, but I think We Didn't Start the Fire is fun and catchy. I loved it. The video was really good, too. Lawrence Gowan, yes. It was Larry, it was Gowan, it was Lawrence Gowan. Queen says, I'm not in the left-right matrix. They both serve their masters. Yeah. Douglas Schwabe. Am I saying that right? Because I have a friend with the exact same last name, good German boy, and he pronounced it Schwabe. Can't wait for the Gowan interview. I haven't even set it up yet. I bought gas from Dick Stacy. Axis 2084. The Who's Quadrophenia saved my life as a freshman. Oh, wow. It was a very turbulent year. I sold a fluorescent sign today. Sorry, I got to watch my watch for my show. It just said CDs, and Shannon's parents got it done for their little shop in Vancouver called Walkabout Clothing and Gifts. And the guy came to the door. He says, "Well, can you get your husband to bring it out?" And we sold it for $50. It was worth a lot more than that, but we're going through the basement and selling a lot of stuff. Some rock and roll memorabilia. No, I think I'm going to keep all my autographed albums, but anyway, he says, "What do you do?" And I said, "Well, I'm a broadcaster. I've been for 38 years, but I also have a YouTube channel." And that's all I usually say. Or I'll say, "I'm in radio and I have a YouTube channel." And he said, "Oh, what do you do on YouTube? I'm kind of curious." His name is, you can follow him. He's got a store and he has a lot of retro guitars and amps. It's, Chase, what's the name of the guy that we met today?
I forgot.
Oh, Astro Amps, Astro Amplifiers on Instagram, and he's in the process of selling them all. If anyone's interested, so look for Astro Amps or Astro Guitars, or you'll find it. You'll see all the pictures. But and it never happens to me. Never ever happens to me. He said, "Rock history music." I don't know if that's rock history music. He says, "You're not the guy that does 5 singers and all the backgrounds are orange and yellow." I said, "Yeah, because I was wearing a mask." He says, "Oh my God, I watch your stuff." And what are the chances? Because it just never happens. Once I was selling something else, and this couple came and they had just moved here from Vancouver. And I said, "Oh, where do you live in Vancouver?" I'm just kind of curious. And they said, "Oh, you know Vancouver?" I said, "I lived there from 89 to 2002. And they said, "You know the Bomac sign in Vancouver? There's this big old sign. It's a historical sign. So they left it there from Bomac cars or whatever, motors." And we said, "Well, we lived right across the street from there." I said, "Really? I lived there. I lived across the street from there." It turns out they lived in the building beside mine. And then we started talking. And she says, "Oh, what do you do?" I said, "Well, I was a radio announcer in Vancouver." "Oh, what station?" "QMFM." And they said, "Oh my God, that's our favorite station. We listen to it all the time. We're so sad we can't listen to it." And they said, "Well, what do you do there?" I said, "Well, I was an announcer. I was one of the guys on the air." And she says, "Oh my God, which one are you? I'm going to know who you are." I said, "Oh, I'm John Beaudin." And she stopped for a second. And it never happens because no one cares about the radio announcer. No one cares. And she says, "Oh my God, I used to listen to your show every night. I can't. What are you doing here? Because you were on the air like before we left." I says, "Yeah, I do my show from the basement. I've been doing it since 2002. So it's really rare. And once I did an Elton John video, I went to Starbucks, and the girl looked up and she says, "Mr. Elton John, you're the guy who did that video." And I just released an Elton John video on his last album. But it never happens. And I love that about YouTube, because people, I mean, these guys were nice. It was very flattering. But today was really special, because the guy and he says, "I could talk to you all day about rock and roll." I was talking to my banker the other day, and, we're just jigging up some stuff, making it more advantageous for us. And he started saying, "Hey, you're in radio. You must know the Beatles." I went, "Yeah, I've heard of the band." And we started talking about what I do. And it's strange, it never happens, because I find myself never talking about what I do on the outside of this. In this stuff, a lot of you, you come, you hang out, at least you feel like you know me a little bit, from my videos. And that's kind of cool, but getting it out there is very different. And plus, we're wearing masks. People would recognize me anyway. Top 40 Hub, interviewing Felix is awesome. Top 40 Hub, where you commented on that on Facebook, right? Butter or margarine on scrambled eggs, Nova. I appreciate a good sense of humor. John Gatson. Hey, John, love your channel. What you do. Thanks, John. I like you already, John. Anybody named John's okay with me. Mahogany Rush, Joe Mannix. Never interviewed, hold on. Cagney or Lacey? Yeah. Call me Getty. Is it Getty? Born and raised in Montreal. I was born in Montreal. I was born in Montreal in 1960. Moved away the year of Expo, 67. Moved to New Brunswick in a French community, because I used to be totally French back then. Took me a lot to get rid of the French accent, because I knew I wanted to get into broadcasting, and I could not have a French accent. So I stopped speaking French in a French family. That went down really well. Not really, no. I remember Walter Rossi. I forget what we used to play from Walter Rossi in the 80s. I forget. Aquarius Records. Yeah, April Wine's label, yeah. Toots. I really like being neighbors with the great USA. Yeah, of course. Nova. Albuquerque rules. Jerry C. John, I was surprised you didn't do a tribute to Roger Hawkins on, oh yeah. The problem with, I didn't do, who was it that I didn't do it? Someone called me a racist. I forget who it was. One of the greats. And I was suffering from depression. I don't really suffer from bouts of major depression anymore. But I remember I was just in bed. I was just not feeling good. No, I'm not suicidal, never have been, none of that stuff. But I was just really depressed, and I didn't know why. When I met Shannon, she didn't understand depression at all. She said, "Well, get out of bed," And I was never one of those guys who stayed in bed. That was just one of those days I did. And I'd meditate and, exercise if I could get myself going. Might have been Chuck Berry. Might have been him. But anyway, someone said, "Oh, how could you not do it? You do so many obituaries. Why didn't you?" I'm going, that day I just couldn't. It wasn't in me to do it. So it happens, and so I don't do all of them. And sometimes if I have 3 interviews, unless Elton John passes or Billy Joel, if I'm doing 3 interviews, which is so emotionally draining for me. And they're not draining people. I've just got to be on the ball so much. And I can't forget the big questions. I have to ask the questions that you would want me to ask. You can't talk with any band that's broken up, a member of any band that's broken up, without asking, will they ever get back together? Even if there's no chance of getting the back, they want you to ask the freaking question. What happened? Right? When's the last time you talked to them? You notice I do that with all my interviews, and all those videos do incredibly well. Top 40 Hub. My brother-in-law is an American, and he worked out with Felix Cavallari. He didn't know who he was people were asking him for autographs. He said, "Are you famous?" Felix said, "I was in a band." That's why I ask all artists now, if you're in a dentist's office, what do you say to the person that asks you what you do? And I get very different answers from it. Okay, you're sitting in a dentist's office, and what do you do? Well, I'm a musician. Well, have you done anything that I know? And then the atmosphere changes in the room. The second, it's usually good. It can be uncomfortable for the artist. Oh, he's down there. I was saying, who's doing? Hey, Romy, hey, wake up. He's having a nightmare. Romy, wake up. Romy, wake up. There. Did you hear him? Yeah, he was having a bad nightmare. What? Floyd the Barber? Do you have a feed faster than me? Because I'm still in the intermission. Montreal won? Wow. Toots, I applied because I worked for Chum, who owned Much Music, the video channel for people, our Canadian version of MTV. They were looking for VJs, and my boss at the time, Neil Gallagher, who was a program director of QMFM in Vancouver, and I was working out a lot back then. I probably looked my best at that era, and I think it's before I met Shannon in '97. I'm not sure. Yes, it was, because my publicity shots, I remember she wasn't around when I did those. So Neil Gallagher told me, you should apply. He said, John, I think, he says, you're a very personable guy on the air. You should apply to become a VJ. And so I did a video, and I did, like I said, my headshot, a nice letter to Denise Donlin, who was running Much Music at the time. And I, of course, let her know that I was working within the company at the same time as well. So she wrote back very quickly after, because I know by working in the company, chances are she'd be looking at my video a little quicker. And I think she knew Neil. And she said, "You're not there yet." She said, "You're not comfortable enough." I think she had said that, when you're at a family gathering or a Christmas party and someone puts a camera on you and you go, "Hey," you get that funny kind of weird persona on you. She said, "You're a little like that. You got to get that out of you." Fast forward, rather. I forgot the term. That's why I didn't get the job. To maybe 5-6 years ago, and interviewing Maria McLaughlin, who's married to Denise Donlin. And I told him about the experience, and he said, "So how do you look back at it?" I said, "Well, I wouldn't have met Shannon if I would have gotten that job. I would have had to move to Toronto. And to me, I needed to meet my wife, Oh, Floyd the Barber, I'm 5-10 minutes behind. That's crazy. How come we be getting, is it, oh, wait a minute. Did I pause it at any time? I paused it. I paused the TV. That's why I'm behind. I'm going, I can't, why can my feed has to be live. Okay, so I'm just going to fast forward. Oh, well, what are you going to do? TX DAP, I have heard Supertramp's first album and their second, Indelibly Stamped. It's just a very different band. Those first two albums, Potter, Rosie Had Everything Planned, tunes like that. I'm surprised they got away with releasing the album with breasts on it on Indelibly Stamped. I wanted to be a psychologist. I see who wrote that. Tom, I wanted to be a psychologist. That's always been my go-to thing. A therapist of some type, because I was obsessed with psychology and sociology. I think I'm okay talking to people. That's kind of what I wanted to do. And then a lawyer for a short time. Might have been inspired by one of the 70s shows. I don't know. But yeah. Breakfast in Canada, the sequel, DM. Well, I saw, as I said a while ago, I saw Seals and Crofts in Moncton, New Brunswick, with Chilliwack opening up for them. Floyd the Barber. When are you going to do a live chat with Henry Gross as a co-host? Well, I know Henry a little bit, right? So, and Henry is responsible for one of my favorite songs of the 70s, Shannon. I still love it. And if anyone saw that first live feed with Henry, he sang Shannon to Shannon on the live feed. And she got really emotional. No, I didn't, but a friend of mine, Irv, he owns some stations in Arizona, I think, aired my April wine special. I did this long April wine special in the U.S. I wasn't expecting, I mean, they did well in the U.S., but I didn't expect it. But one day he said, hey, man, I heard you did an April wine special. Can I air it? I went, sure. He said, what do you want for it? I said, Irv, I'm not going to charge you. I'll send it to you on Reel to Reel. I ended up sending it to him, I think, pretty sure on Reel to Reel. New World Man. That's why I enjoy your live feeds. Positivity, life experience. Thank you. Springtime Mama, I love too, yeah. Springtime Mama was a nice surprise because it was a fast song. I remember, I think the B-side to either Springtime Mama or Shannon was Overton Squares or something like that. I remember a really peculiar, cool tune. Listen to Henry's newer songs. My God, he's so plugged in. His music is amazing, like crazy good. His last album just blew me away. I went, oh, jeez. Some of the best work he's ever done. So, what time is it here? 8 o'clock. Well, I don't think Radar fan Callie, I don't think he would come on. I'd like him to. With Tom Scholes, I'd like to pick his brain about who he is a little bit more if I ever talk to him. And I'm not just saying this as an advertisement to get him on. He's not going to come on. He's one of those guys I want to know what like he was like when he got into music and if he, what it was like for him when he first got on stage. I know he was a little kind of nerdy guy, a little bit, not a little bit, and how he feels about people always trying to rewrite the Boston story, whether it's deserved or not. Tom Scholes would be an interesting interview, but the other two guys were too. Jim Mastia is quite a character. I like Jim. Barry sent me his album right after I interviewed him. He sent me the MP3s before it was released so I could do the special. But I interviewed Barry twice, 3 a.m. in Ireland. Wow. Marty Martin. DM, I've been listening to the new Duran Duran. Is it brand new? Like new? Yeah, take the best and the worst things in life. Christopher 628, but Paul Carrick was just a nice character. Yeah. And remember, most of the time no, maybe not most of the time. I'll contact the artist directly. David Suzuki's on TV. I almost ran him over. I almost killed David Suzuki. For some of you Americans might know, but Canadians will all know David Suzuki. He's a scientist here in Canada, very famous. I was driving on West 4th in Vancouver, and he was jaywalking across West 4th. I remember I was driving a Ford Probe at the time, turquoise Ford Probe. And he came by, and I came so close to hitting him that his coat brushed against the car. Yeah, David Suzuki. He just came on TV. I almost killed him. Didn't mean to. Oh yeah, the damn truth. Chase, can you text me the damn truth? Just text the damn truth from Montreal. Oh, I have to give my daughter her meds, 8 o'clock meds. Hold on. So I don't forget. Come on, Dee Dee. Grab water, please. Thank you, Danica. You're Danica? You okay? Okie dokie. No one's manning the ship. Who's flying the plane? What's happening? Why is there no host? New World Man. No, I don't know how. Are you just paying attention, or do we know each other? I had the first new car I ever bought was the Laser, the Chrysler Laser. It had at least 14 things wrong with it. It was a turbo. There was always something wrong with it. Always something wrong with it. But I love that car. Then I got a Cordoba after that with Corinthian leather seats. Thank you, Ricardo Montalban. Then I had a Fiero. Then I had a Monte Carlo. Then I had a CJ7 Jeep. A 310 Datsun. Crazy. And then I had the Probe. After the Probe, I had a Ford Explorer. That was new as well. Then I had a Ford Focus. Then I had an XC90 as a company car at the radio station, a Volvo XC90. Then I had another XC90, this time with a V8. Then I had a Subaru Outback. Look at this, a lot of cars. And then now I drive a 328i twin, well, it's not twin turbo BMW. And I'll keep that for a while. So, New World Man, do we know each other? Do you, Barry Bowman, Robert Downey Jr.? Well, not so much anymore. Aging. 7-hour difference. Wow, you're up late. Never heard of Laser. That's a car. Floyd the Barber. Carla Bonoff. Used to love her song. Yeah, personally, we used to play it on the radio when we were doing a light rock. What's the Ford Fusion? Hey, Chase, what's a Ford Fusion?
Just like it's a four-door sedan, I think.
Oh yeah. Well, no, I drive a Beamer, so it's a four-door sedan. Yeah, New World Man. The Laser, it was such a cool car because the side, the doors were like this instead of going straight down like that, where the handle was here. It was like a 928 Porsche went like that. That's the closest to a Porsche. I was actually looking at Porsches today. No, I can't afford a Porsche. Yes, that's true, eh? Yeah, James, very true. Queen, Range Rover super safe SUV. Yeah, what do you guys drive? Tell me what you drive. It doesn't roll over. Randy Schiffer. Hey, John. Have you ever listened to Brindle? Okay, they're connected to somebody. Who are they connected to? BMW, LOL. You have, John, have you had chicks dance on the car hoods? Nope, no. I love my car. I really love that car. Shannon drives an Acura RDX. We never buy our cars new, ever. Always 2-3 years old. Range Roller. I have a Camry, solid car. Yeah, nice car. Maria Day. Ford Ranger pickup. Oh, cool. Yeah, tell me what you drive. Let's talk about that. That's fun. Thoroughly enjoyed Paul Carrick interview. Thank you very much. Favorite song, Tempted. Would Squeeze, yes. Top 40 Hub. Mazda CX-5 and a Mazda 6. Cool. I was thinking of buying a Mazda. When Shannon got her RDX, that is her second Acura RDX, I thought of getting an SUV, but I don't like a lot of country music artists. I don't like any new country music artists, like none. I drive myself crazy. Oh, James Leonard says, I miss seeing Chase play. He took a break. You drive a Fiat. Oh. A Chevy Malibu hatchback. from New World Man. Toro Porco. Hey, man. Queen. I love, the Rogers song. Yeah. I love my car. That was such such a goofy song. Floyd the Barber. John, is Canadian TV playing the commercial with the song "Let's Make Lots of Money"? Yes, they are. When he's driving the car and the thing on the hood's talking. Yeah. Oh my God, they play it so often. It's crazy. Do you guys get what's the toothpaste commercial in the U.S.? I don't know if it's Canadian or American. There's a dentist there with a white coat, and she talks about the enamel. You got to really watch the enamel, and then because you got to have the enamel. I'm going, oh my God. And Peloton commercials. Come on, Peloton. Let's go, Peloton. Why do they keep talking about themselves? You know? It's like a hockey player going, come on, Vancouver Canucks. Looking around. What? Huh? And he's the enamel. Every time it comes on, Shannon laughs because I always go. Okay. Used to have a 78 Chevelle. Laguna. I don't know what that is. James Leonard. Oh no. Maria Day. 25-year-old pickup with only one owner. Me. Oh, cool. Toots. Hey, baby. Nice RX-7. Randall, Corolla Hybrid. Oh, cool. Toots, Chevy Corvette, got all the girls. Oh, cool. James Leonard, all car songs are goofy. Ringo had one. Barry Bowman, I love the Pet Shop Boys stuff. Shannon is obsessed with, well, not obsessed, but she loves the Pet Shop Boys. I'm sick of the Geico and the Liberty Progressive insurance commercials. Okay, day at the beach, let's talk about the bundling. I was down. Let's see. Radar fan Callie. Today's country, bad 80s rock with violins. Yeah. Sensodyne, New World Man, that's it. And don't get me wrong, she's really cute, but whenever she says, but you really gotta watch the enamel, and I went to the store and bought my enamel. I don't know what she's talking about. She doesn't say that. Sensodyne, yeah. Enamel. Yes, Durant. Toots, I drive a vet. Chase was looking at vets. I think if we move back to New Brunswick, you might want a vet. And I'm going, vet might not be the best car in New Brunswick for the winters. Spacey Sam Aku Holt. Wow, Toots. Dave Zilla. I find a hood ornament singing just a side of creepy. It is a little creepy. I really looked at it last time and I went, that's kind of weird. It's like the Terminator guy, you know? Oh, Randy, thank you. Brindle. I might have talked to him about Brindle. The interview's so old, I don't remember. Anthony Sondheim, 69 Rambler. Really? Wow. Dan Page, a 72 Ford Maverick. I got my driver's license on, I think, a 76 Ford Maverick. A red one. It's a weird looking. The Maverick always looked like it was not finished yet. Because, you know, it had the normal front end, and all of a sudden at the end, it was like, whoop, in the back. Maria Day. I know it's not your kind of music, John, but I really like Backstreet Boys. I like Backstreet Boys, the best boy band of that era. I play them all the time on my show. All the time. Best of the boy. Oh, tell me why. I can't sing. Ron Rockstar Media. Yes, I love Duran Duran's song. Yeah, I erased that comment, by the way. Oh my God, Queen, the Jesus Christ Superstar soundtrack is an amazing soundtrack. I used to live with this lady, Andrea, who is such a huge Jesus Christ Superstar fan. She reintroduced me to it. She was an amazing singer too, Andrea. Top 40 Hub. Favorite Crank It Up's driving song, Doobie Brothers, Rockin' Down the Highway. Good choice. PL Prague, Dominique. Greetings from France. Hey, France. Was that Domine? How would you say that? I love listening to your podcast on Toto while doing my homework. All the best. Thank you. Thank you. DM John, are vets neutered? Like they're, I don't know, supercars. I love the new vet. The new vet is amazing. Wow, what a beautiful mid-engine car. What a beautiful, beautiful car. Orbitson, oh, welcome back. I drive a stick, but they're hard to find in the US. Maybe Canada sells more. Shannon's the best female stick driver I ever met. It had nothing to do with women drivers. I've just never met a woman who could drive a stick like Shannon. Man, she's like butter. I've had a lot of sticks. My Camaro, my Trans Am weren't sticks. My 310 Datsun was a stick. A Volkswagen Bug, my father's Volkswagen Bug was a stick. I'm trying to think of. Pulled up beside the bass player from Haywire at the lights on a mountain, RD, 1987. He was headed to the Coliseum. Dance Desire. Christopher 628. My first car was a 70 Ford Maverick in 1988. Maybe many weekends fixing it, yeah. My father bought it used from my Uncle Joseph. I'd love one of those Dodge Chargers too. I still think I'll probably end up getting the newer Camaros, not maybe the new model, but the one before that when they came back after a long time. I still think I might get one of those. But the weird thing is, if it's not going to be nearly the car. When I put my BMW in the high end sport mode, I mean, that's a hell of a sports car. It drives really, really well. It corners on a dime. It's really nice. It's one of the nicest cars I've ever had. I drove a Subaru Outback before that, the little ones, Got it for $1 from my father-in-law and told myself, I'm going to buy a nice car. I went out to buy a Camaro. And then I saw this ad for, what's the Audi, the two-seater sporty Audi, the M5? I don't know what it is. What's it called? Anyway, I went to buy one of those. I went to the BMW dealership because they were selling it used. And the sales guy says, we don't have one of those cars here. You must have got your places mixed up. So I said, well, what do you got? I want to spend this much money. I don't want to buy a used BMW. And this one had just come in. And no one had sat in the back seat. It had like cream leather seats. It was in immaculate shape. Immaculate. Low mileage. Looked brand new. And so I bought it. I just got it, damn it. Maria Day, I love Willie Nelson. Let It Ride. Brandel, so true. Spacey, Susie Boggess. She's the only country star in my collection. She's also quite a beautiful lady. What Bruce Hornsby song did she record? I think the last time I interviewed Bruce Hornsby, I think it was the last time. I interviewed him twice. This was a phoner. The first one was in person. I think Susie Boggess had just recorded one of his songs. The kit car is becoming a reality, yeah. I just watched a thing today on Nova. I'd recorded it, the newest Nova episode where they looked. Did anyone else see that about the flying cars and electrical helicopters? It was fascinating. I loved it. I was intrigued by it. Freebird, good drive song across the country. Oh yeah. Chase and I want to do Route 66. Paul McCartney did it, remember, a few years ago. And Anthony Sondheim. John, what do you think of the band Angel? I'm not that familiar with them, really. Oh, Toots. Best road song, Can't Heat on the Road Again. I sing like that. I'm going to sing like this. I'm going to sing like this. He's long gone. Yeah. A top 40 help, I forgot to ask that question. I had it up there. I copy and pasted it from Facebook. But I forgot to ask that question. And he stayed on as long as I wanted him to. We've talked for an hour and a half. you kind of tell if someone's getting tired, but he and I just, I mean, you know, just got along incredibly well. BMWs are well built. I never owned a BMW before. Always wanted one, but for the most part, I never really thought about it. And then when I went to buy that Audi, first it was a Camaro, then I saw the Audi, then I went, well, I'm here. What do you got? And the person who owned my car before had a X5 and a 328i, the modern edition. It's got the chrome on it. It's really nice, and the turbo. And he brought back two of his cars, but he had in the glove compartment he had hold on a second. I just remembered something. Hold on, stay with me. Oh yeah, I think I did that. I was supposed to call someone today or send them something, and I'm trying to think if I did it. Here I am in a live broadcast saying, did I do that? But anyway, the guy had a handicap sticker and he could not get out of the 328i, but he liked the X5. He bought them both, the same color. Mine's like navy blue with tinted windows. Looks really nice. But so he wanted to trade both of them in for just one X5. That's why my car had low mileage. He couldn't really drive it. He had problems getting in and out of it. New World Man. I had a Volvo S3 with a 2.1 liter turbo. Fun car to drive. I love Volvos. You know, another car I'm thinking of getting is the new version of the XC90. I love it because I had the other version of the XC90, a 6-cylinder and an 8-cylinder. I had two of them. Queen says, my uncle had a stick shift car, and he said, I can drive it sometimes, but I'm too afraid I'll crash it. Oh, it's a vintage Mustang. Oh my God. Yeah. Yeah, I'd like to drive that. I like Alison Krauss too, DM. I do. Ron Rockstar Media. John, what car would you rather have? Kit from Knight Rider or a DeLorean from Back in the Future? Number 2, DeLorean, please. What about you? Best car song, Drive My Car. Steve, have you interviewed REO Speedwagon members? I tried. Kevin, was it Kevin Cronin? Is that his name? Randy Schiffer. Here's another one. Little Village, incredible album. John Hyatt, Ry Cooter, Nick Lowe, Jim Keltner. Someone was on here last time who's a friend of Jim. No, we're not on the live feed because I haven't done one in over a week. Who's a close friend of Jim Keltner, and I said, please, can you just tell him I so want to interview him. But I think I'll reach out to him myself, and I could probably get him, I think. No problem, John. Thanks, Top 40 Hub. Thanks for understanding. Sometimes I'll be in an interview. You'll probably notice my face. I'm thinking, I'm going, I've got this question. I'm ready. I've got this question, but I've got to listen to him because it might be a rebuttal thing. Got this question. I got to remember it, and I can't type it. I want it to be my next question. And sometimes you'll go, and they'll say something. He or she will say something, and you'll go, okay, that's lost now. I don't even know what it was again. And a lot of times I'll do an interview, and I'm listening to the interviewer. I hope it doesn't show. I'm thinking of usually 3 questions I have to ask, but it's not on my list because they're spread out. And I realize by the type of person he is, I'm going to get a good answer for whatever that is. So it's interesting, you know, that what you have to go through. And that's why I find it exhausting doing some interviews, not because of the person, but sometimes the information it's so vital. You never know if you're going to get the person again. So you really got to be on. Chase, can you tell Mom I'm still doing this? So she doesn't, if my wife calls, it'll disconnect this feed. Yeah, my neighbor used to have Endless Summer DM by the Beach Boys. I never owned, what was the name of that one from the 70s? 14 Big Ones or something, the blue cover? I had that one. Toots says, my best friend had a 68 Mustang back in the 80s. Brett Michaels never tried. The Mustang was black with red interior. Christopher 628. Martin Chambers from The Pretenders. He would have a heck of a lot of, so strange that, within a few years, 2 of the 4 original members were dead. Not many young guys here in Brazil like Toto. That's one of the things I like about most. About Chase. Yeah, yeah. He was doing the halftime shuffle yesterday. He was still got the pocket, still in it. But he did a lot of practice, but he gets down there and he still sounds like better than most any kid that I've heard. Unless you go into YouTube and it seems like there's 90 million. That's why he stopped being on YouTube. He didn't want to be one of the 90 million kids doing songs on YouTube. Does the Canadian Hall of Fame have non-Canadian bands? I don't know. I don't think so. No. Top 40 Hub. 15 big ones. Thank you. Yep, I remember. Mike Campbell from I've not tried. I've got to go record my show. I've not tried to get Mike Campbell. I'd like to. I think Fleetwood Mac will get back together with Lindsay. I think it's going to happen. Streetheart or Loverboy? I've always been a bigger Streetheart fan, even though, of course, interviewing. I've talked to both leads. I talked to Kenny Shields. I think a year or two before he died. I forget, but I wanted to do an interview, so I left him my cell phone number. I was driving a friend to therapy, and I was at such a weird place. I went, well, I'm going to have to wait in the car. So I'm waiting in the car. My phone rings, and I don't know who it is. I don't think I knew, and it's Kenny Shields of Streetheart. And he says, well, I can't do an interview right now. I know his mother was ailing at the time. So I've got some personal stuff to do. And then we just started talking. And as you might notice, I've got the gift of the gab. I was a shy kid, but I've caught up for lost time. And we talked for an hour. And at one point I thought, well, we could have done the interview right here. You know, I had to tape a call on my phone. I could have done the interview. And then a year later, he died, you know. But I cherish that hour I spent with him. We're talking about life and loss and, you know, dealing with feelings, depression. It was a great interview. And then Mike Reno, quite a few years before that, came to the radio station. That interview, I was going to do it today. We're on Rock History Canada. Please subscribe to Rock History Canada. Please like the video. If you like what you hear, most of our channel is not this. It's interviews with rock stars. Please subscribe to our channel. But Rock History Canada is going to have all those. My first Trooper interview, my Harlequin interview. Oh my God. Tommy Swick came in once and he was talking about a bar fight he was in. I don't know why he went so deep into the conversation. So many Canadians. More Marie McLaughlin, Martha and the Muffins. Oh my God. Everyone from the 80s. Yeah. Yeah, it's Stevie Nicks just had a birthday. I've got to go, guys. I've got to go record my show. I must record the show. But I've enjoyed talking to you. I don't like to keep it this close to when the show's going to be aired in Vancouver. I like to record it sooner than this. But John, I was jail guard for the RCMP in 8046. I knew the madman from the Miramichi. I don't know who they are. I know, guys, you want to say goodbye. Unfortunately, I have to go because I didn't realize it was as late as it was. Thank you for the super chats. Thanks for supporting the channel. Please subscribe if you haven't. And I'll try to do more live feeds. Take care.